we have a quorum.
Richard will be here very short.
Okay,
After he was at the dentist.
so
He'll be
should
known.
we?
He was exercising?
At the dentist.
Oh, the dentist, oh.
So
One
let's,
of which is fun, one is not fun.
let's start with our minutes, shall we? Can we start with your minutes?
Well,
hon?
usually you guys read them and then we can send
You know I have, so,
You have, yes, you
cause I edited them.
yeah. I don't think those are the right ones, sweetie. Oh, yeah. Well, there was a change to them, so this is the right one.
Get out of here.
The red light's on, so I would think we're being recorded.
Okay,
Yeah,
She did come in and say she was recording.
yeah,
Yep. Keep him busy.
And here's a copy of the informal roles and responsibilities of a chairman, which was brought up at the previous meeting. So I did a little research. It wasn't very difficult to locate
Yeah.
that information. And, which was part of the minutes, that's the reason that I brought it.
Ooh, I think
Yeah.
that's an easy one to follow. Maybe. Okay. Oh, so did we all
Yeah.
read the minutes?
Yes.
Do we have any omissions or corrections that anybody would like to make?
I have a question,
Yeah,
but it's
Tom?
only because I wasn't here. What was the issue of the name from Moore to Ford? Is that a couple of car?
Eh,
Car
yeah.
things?
No, it was, we had reached out to a potential member for the committee, and his name was listed incorrectly, so we did correct it.
So if you look at my notes, oh my God. Change to Moore hyphen Ford, accepted with change. So that's where that came.
Yeah, and literally, he was a chap that volunteered on Memorial Day at the Common and came in really handy. And he said that he's new in town and would like very much to become part of some of the activities in town. So I recommended and provided Claudia with details regarding contacting him. But I know that he works during the day.
I had a great conversation with him.
You did?
I did, he's
Yeah.
a really nice guy,
He is
yeah.
a nice person.
Very nice guy, yep, I had a great conversation with him, I got him in the thing, so we'll, as we
Great.
go along,
Okay.
we'll
Sounds
address
good.
that, yes.
Okay, so
can we
I
have a
looked them
motion
over, the minutes, and I have no changes that I see need to be made.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept the minutes as read?
I'll make that motion to accept the minutes from the October 19th meeting, 2022.
All in favor?
Alright,
Oh, I don't know if we're supposed to second that or not. Okay, so I
Does
have,
everybody know everybody? Does Tom know?
this is Lauren, our new, veterans agent.
oh, yes,
Hi, nice
I
to
need
meet
to
you.
talk to you.
Okay.
How do you do? I need to talk to you.
And I'm Susan Brady.
Nice to meet you.
And John Nason, he's been an able-bodied member for many, many years, and he's the person that puts together our program
Are you
brochure.
attending?
And so,
Hello,
good morning.
how are you guys?
Doing well.
And this, you know Nathan, our
Yes.
town
Hi,
administrator.
Bill
yeah?
Shay,
Nice
a
to
real
meet you.
pleasure to meet you too.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Nate,
And
nice to
Nate,
meet you.
Thanks
Nate
for sitting
Woodruff,
in.
nice to meet you. Sorry for being late. Hi, how are you?
Good.
I went-
Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you. I went to a weed farm, so that's
Oh, so are you high?
yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not high. We went to talk business and tax payments at the weed farm down the street. So
We're being
Okay, so
recorded.
let's, pay attention and stay in our business, because I'm gonna tell you right now, we've got a lot of work to do. May is coming, I'm leaving for 2 months, so I think we really need to pay attention to what's going on here. We've got a lot of work to do if we wanna do it, and make it a really, last year we had 2,000 people attend this parade. Let's see if we can get it up to that or close to it if we work hard at it, so, Sue, do you wanna talk first, or do you want me to go through this and then you talk after I get done?
Fine.
Okay. Alright, so Ryan is not gonna be here, I got, a text from him saying he wasn't gonna be here. He said he reached out to the state police for the band, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that is the hardest thing to do, is to get a band for that day. We've done it with music, we've had to put boom boxes on the back of the, and I hate to do that. So I don't know where we're gonna go and get a band, but it's very, very likely that we won't at this point.
Yeah, that's hard to get for Memorial Day, but
Yes.
there's another opportunity, maybe, and that's the corrections officers have a pipe band. And there's an awful lot of corrections officers in this area, retired and not retired, still at probably Shirley and stuff because of the Gardner prison.
So we need to work on that. Do we have a number, a phone, we could call them right away? I mean, that's something we
I can ask my
should,
son Jim, because Jim used to be on
I mean,
the
I can-
board of directors.
I could call the prison, I guess.
No, my son's neighbor is a CO at Shirley, and I'll be happy to reach out to him and see if we can establish a contact. So John, if you'll follow up on exactly what you talked about, and I'll follow up and just see if I can get a contact. I was unaware of that, so, okay.
So you know what, though, on this, I'm gonna be a little firm on this one. If we need to work on it like right away, like for the end of the week, and if nothing comes up, we need to contact each other so that we can think about where we're gonna reach out from here to try to get a band, because it's good to get a multiple. Don't just get one and wait for them to return. Call a whole bunch, and the first one that comes in, because I'm telling you, we won't get one.
Just a brief, Nathan and Lauren, on last year, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Committee had funding, and we reached out, we secured a band for $1,500, and they were fair to poor overall, so we would not recommend that again, nor do we necessarily have the funds to reach out. And and when I tried to do that last year, I mean, there were contacts from New York and Florida that said they wanted to come, and, all the money in the world, so.
It's a
that-
lot of
that is,
money.
So, I have a connection with a company named AIS, and when we needed, the Vietnam Veterans of Gardner had a meat raffle, they have one every year, and this company just, with one call, donated everything. So there may be a chance that I can give this company a call, and their director of donations and community support is a former Leominster City Councilor, Rick Marchand. I don't know if anyone knows the area, but I can give him a buzz to see if that's something they're either in the means of looking into or would be capable of. And I
What's
know
AIS, what's that?
it's the largest manufacturer of office furniture and cubicle walls for WB Mason. They're on the back end of Leominster, like sort of near the new RMV.
So you'll look into that this
Yeah,
week,
and I
maybe,
can look
Nick?
into, I'll text Rick.
Perfect, okay, so we'll have two people, you're gonna be looking into the correctional one, he's gonna look into that.
In terms of a band, what exactly are you looking for? Is it like a marching band for the parade or like afterwards? Like
Marching-
musical entertainment?
Marching band for
Okay.
the parade.
Never mind.
Yeah.
'Cause I got
Because
stuff
we
for
had
that.
drill teams, and they serve a purpose, but the marching band, is kind of at the beginning of the parade,
And we don't get Quabbin until 2025, so that we don't.
they
we don't-
rotate year to
Yeah,
year,
so we won't
so.
Is
Well,
there
we don't get them till 2025.
I think it's
Yeah.
25,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there like a little cutesy operation out of Hubbardston Center School? Like, not to say that it would be the big main band, but people still like seeing that, like little kids walking down the street.
We could reach out to them, but that would have to be in addition to
Yes,
our
in
marching.
addition to, yes.
I don't think they have,
I don't think the kids.
I don't think it's, I'm not real sure on that. We could reach out and see.
Worth a try.
Oh, yeah, school band.
Just for my and
There's a
Lauren's sake,
couple
where
of-
does the parade go from and to?
From the rec field
Mhm.
to the church.
approximately a little over a quarter of a mile. And we estimate that last year we thought it might take an hour to do, 3/4 an hour to an hour, where the ceremony then begins at noontime with the raising of the flag and the formalities. But in spite of having a substantial number of floats and cars and motorcycles and marching, they were done in 30 minutes. So we have, so we had to do some ad-libbing in order to get closer to the noon hour. But Tom was good at that. And so, oh, was it
And
BSing,
he
Tom?
just
Yeah.
poked- He just poked the damn thing right in my mouth down there and said,
Talk.
say something.
Yeah, and anyway, so usually we'll take between, let's say, 15 and 30 minutes, depending on the number of floats we have.
Yeah, and then the ceremony lasts an hour, and then we come over here and we have ice cream, either the Friends or the Golden Ages or whatever, we'll have ice cream, and hopefully we'll reach out to the Lions, maybe
Yeah, they
we'll
were
still
very-
do the hot dogs and stuff afterwards, I think people love that. So, I don't know, depending on how we do, if they will do that, I don't know.
And to put everything in
I'll
perspective,
look into
they had,
that since I'm a lion.
they gave
Okay.
out 394 hot dogs, so that gives you an idea
Yeah.
of people, yeah, that stayed after, so.
Yeah, some just went right home, but we had around 2,000, it was very nice, very nice, Bill did a great job and everything. So, okay, so all right, so that's with the band, now that's our number one priority that we really cannot push off. Don't wait till tomorrow, let's work on it now, cause we won't get it. And then we'll have to figure something else out. Tom, let's go to the next one. Tom, you got a special speaker?
Jenny can probably help you out.
Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, you
Well,
gonna look into
I
that?
called them and they asked me to call them back, sometime in the first 3 months of this year, so I give them a call.
Yeah, we should probably stay on that one too, because if we wait, we lose.
But
Snooze,
remember,
you
we had
lose.
sort of, adjusted or changed our focus to
Yes.
the, having the young veterans and
Young
the PTSD. And I believe, Tom, when you reached out, that, we found that there were, 2 Congressional Medal of Honor winners still alive that lived in Massachusetts. One had moved to, New Hampshire. They're extremely busy, and there was a charge involved in it. So that may not be plausible.
But yeah, Jenny could guide you through. Is this
So-
Well, I've got the phone number, I'll call them
Yeah,
today.
why not? And, but, where we decided that our focus was gonna be on the younger veteran and the PTSD, we thought that, having a couple of, speakers representing that, generation of veterans
Do
would
you
be.
have any idea on that, Laurie?
I mean, I know a lot of people. I can think of someone else. In terms of like a special speaker, I don't know.
I don't know, well, we
Like-
can think,
It wouldn't necessarily have to be a special speaker, it could be 2 or 3 individuals
Okay.
representing different timeframes, you know, Korean War, going back that far, right up to the present day,
Okay.
who you might interact with, or through the homeless shelter, or with veterans in Worcester area.
Yeah, I know a lot of people,
Yeah.
so.
And certainly we could provide them with format and guidance, and we want them to be comfortable. But, so we wouldn't have to have necessarily, if I'm not being too forward here, a keynote speaker. Might even be best to have 3 speakers who could talk for a short period of time, up to 5 minutes or so, that would be reaching out to the group that's there to let them know what it is they go through and that type of thing.
yeah, because I know you have a lot in too, and I was thinking about that, and I said, our veterans of today, you know, our recent veterans that are still, I mean, they had to go through, I mean, they've lost their friends and they're, you know, they can talk about what they've lost, you know, so. All right.
So if Lauren, can you,
I have a couple in my head right now.
can you pursue
Okay.
that?
Yep.
Okay, so now the speakers is the next one. Do you want me to reach out to Donnie Bertram and Ann Goby, because last year we forgot Ann Goby?
No, she stepped up to the plate.
She did,
yeah.
she came to me, she said, don't you want me here?
Yeah,
I'm not on the program.
Did she get reelected?
Yes.
So I would like to call and reserve them.
no, we reached out to her.
Nope,
we-
I didn't,
We
and I
invited
didn't,
her.
and no, we didn't, we
Okay,
didn't,
yeah.
we didn't, Bill, I know we
She
didn't.
showed up on her own.
She showed up on her own and she told me, I'm not on the program, Clyde, you know, don't you want me to speak? And I'm like, oh, so then we got her in there,
We
but
did. She
I
spoke.
thought I could reach out to her, you know,
Sure.
now and have them make sure we have them on the schedule,
That's
and then we can have them on the program too, so we don't leave her out, that was wonderful. So I'll do that if you want. And the kids for the school, that was my, I thought that was perfect last year. Those kids were
Couldn't be better.
amazing.
Oh, God, they were
They were that little girl, unbelievable, and she learned that, and she did not read it. She recited that whole thing, so
And
that
she was-
tells you it can be done.
she was only about this high, I mean,
I-
she was a little tiny girl.
She was
and
amazing, she did it with heart and everything, so
Everybody that talked to me afterwards, every single one of them, that was number one.
oh, it's an amazing little girl. So if you'd like, I would mind doing that again, getting the kids from the school.
Did I mention last year the idea of getting the kids to recite the guys we lost in the Civil War? Okay,
You mean, read the names?
yeah,
That's, there's 44 we lost in
Yeah.
the Civil War.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And some of the names still still in town.
Yeah.
The families are still in town. And I think that should we have the time to do that, it'd be a possibility, but we'd have to have also someone to do that. You know, I would think that it would be something they could speak for a minute about how Hubbardston patriotism came through for the Civil War, where our population was 1,000 and we sent off over 150 men to serve, and we lost 44. And I'm not sure that we have enough time within the time frame to do it, but if we did, we could have it as an extra.
Yeah, and we gotta remember that we're honoring the vets, the younger vets. I think the following year we can honor the older vets, the older ones.
Except that we're honoring those who fell.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's okay,
yeah, so
yeah.
that's true too, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
Leave it on as a possibility.
And you might get more people to come,
Yeah.
you know?
That from the families, yeah.
Yeah.
We had many that came from long distances because they had relatives that were Vietnam veterans.
okay, so I'll do the kids if you want. I'll reach out to the school and do the kids, get them. And Bill, National Guard, Quabbin, Monty Tech,
Reached out to, sent preliminary emails to Mass National Guard and also to Monty Tech. Monty Tech told me to get back in touch with them in March, both of whom were there last year. A few of whom melted on the spot because it was a very hot day after their march and it was very sunny. So I haven't heard back from them, but I'll pursue that. I'm not sure Quabbin is anything more than a moot point because we've been told that they can't participate because they're responsible for other towns. But I had asked them maybe a little contingent, you know, kids that could match, or at least 2 or 3 or 6 that could come that are Hubbardston kids. But last year that didn't get anywhere, so I'll still send them one salvo and see what they say.
Bill, I was thinking while we were going through this last year, everybody is looking for bands that day, everybody's looking to be the #1 show in town. But I was thinking this is a classical small town America celebration here on Memorial Day, remembering our veterans. Why not try to grab that as and make people wanna come here, because it's the classical small town Memorial Day celebration. Otherwise, we're competing with everybody else, and what's our edge? What's giving us
Makes
the,
us different, yeah. And I'll also reach out to, the, Worcester and Boston channels again and see if, by chance, last year I thought was our best shot because we were dedicating the memorial, and we didn't get any coverage. But, to reach out again and say, look what it looks like after a year, and how fine it looks, and the fact that we're also adding more names, maybe, all they can say is no, so.
What about the flyover? We could never get that, probably. If we did that ahead of time or anything, we could probably never get that.
What, the flyer? Oh, the flyover? Yeah. I can't tell you how many hours I spent trying to get that.
I
Yeah.
know.
And at the last minute, they said that they didn't realize how far away Hubbardston was, because they were flying out of Bradley. And they had 4 or 5 other places they had to go that day. And I said, I don't care what you send me, a C-130, a Piper Cub, a kite, a drone, just send something over. And they had asked for a specific time between 12 and 1. I said, anytime, no, we have to have a specific time, because they wanted to be appropriate. And then within a week, as you know, they contacted me and they said, we didn't realize how far away Hubbardston was. I said, what do you mean? I happen to know it's 11 flying minutes from Bradley to Mount Wachusett because there's a beacon there. And he said, yeah, but we're gonna be down in Stamford and further apart, so.
What about Hanscom Air Force Base? Do they do any of that
I
kind
don't
of
know.
stuff? No?
No, the Mass National Guard does not do flyovers, that's what I found out. It was Rhode Island and Connecticut were my 2 best bets. And I got clearance through FAA and so on and so forth, and spent a lot of time.
Westoverville too.
No, nothing out of,
No.
Mass National Guard does not do flyovers.
But is Hanscom, is that a National Guard or is that
No,
a
it's Air
regular Air
Force.
Force base?
That's it.
It's an Air Force base, I'm not sure if they have reserves up there, but
They do.
they do,
They do?
yeah, thought so.
Okay, so Bill, you're gonna continue on that. All right, so now we're talking about the floats with the soldiers, trucks and trailers, the decorations, all that stuff. I think it adds a lot to the parade. It was a lot for us last year because we did all 4 of them practically. And for me, it was a lot of work. Of course, my husband was sick, it was tough for us. So that's why I was like, I can't do this again. But he's doing better, and I was talking to my son-in-law who drove us to Boston last night, and he said, Meme, I love doing the float, and my kids love it. They decorate it, they helped out, they were on it. I mean, my son was involved, they were all involved. So, I'm rethinking my thought that maybe we should still have the soldiers with the floats and the trucks and stuff like that. We might reach out to, like, say, Rich, we need your truck, or, you know, we need to find some trailers, and we can reach out to the veterans that came. They loved it. They were very great and appreciated that we did that for them. So what do you think about if we still try to keep our floats with our veterans, cause that's who we're honoring anyways? Should we continue? The thing is, I might reach out for more help. That's the only thing.
You had a couple of youngsters that helped out.
My grandson
Yeah.
and my grandchildren.
Yeah.
I think Sue came down a little bit,
Yeah.
and helped to decorate a little bit, and one
Yeah,
of the
a
other
lot of the
seniors.
golden ages.
The Golden Ages had their own
Yeah.
float, so they did their own, but
Yeah.
we furnished the truck and the trailer, and my kids helped, my sister and them helped decorate that.
And
So-
Chip, didn't he help also?
Skip
Yeah.
got one, he got one.
Hillary Scott, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He got one. So there was 1, 2, 3, I got 3 trailers and 3 trucks I got, and Skip got 1
Yeah.
truck and trailer.
I have one.
You have a truck?
I have a truck and a trailer.
Perfect,
Yep.
good. So you wouldn't mind helping us decorate and get it?
As long as I'm not alone, because if I decorate alone, it won't be pretty.
Well, you can, you can bring, Nate, you can bring your family, bring your girlfriend. Yeah.
We'll link up on that, but I have a truck and trailer.
Okay.
Just leave it at that.
Alright, truck and trailer, good. And I got one trailer from some guy on Route Road. He had that big old truck that he drove in it, and he had a trailer that he let us use at the last minute. And then my friends from Connecticut came down with their truck and pulled the trailer, so,
That's Sawyer?
huh?
Is that Sawyer?
Oh, no, no. Can't even think of the guy's name right now.
Dak?
So the answer to that, my input is absolutely. Our veterans are 1 year older in many cases, and
Yeah.
we wanna honor them too, and
Yeah.
every float was filled, right?
It was full.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We took all these chairs from, that was
I
another
know.
thing, we had to lug all the chairs out and put them back, and then lug all of them back, and, you know, so that we need the muscle. We can't have everybody just at the end of the parade, when you're done eating and leave, no.
Well,
We
that
come
young
right
man,
back.
that was that young man that helped me move a lot of them.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't remember his name, but
I think Sue's son was here, wasn't
Yeah,
John
John,
here, and my grandson
The
was here, he
DPW
was
didn't
good.
help you at all?
Huh?
The DPW didn't help you at all?
No,
Let's see what we can do about that.
no, they didn't. But, so, alright, so we'll continue that, we'll still work on that, we'll try to get that organized, so we still have our veterans and stuff, it doesn't, I think it means a lot for them to be there, so. Okay,
So, cause
So we
didn't
need
the
to
bus
get-
company go and pick them up in Worcester?
the bus,
McCarthy.
our bus company did it for free,
Yeah.
they went all the way in and
yeah,
picked up the
Tom,
trucks.
you initiated that contact,
Yes,
didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
And
know,
then
for all the years that I was the chairman,
Yeah.
that, you know, I would call them and they'd just say, how many? Where do you want them? I said, you know, I always ask them, you know, well, what's this gonna cost us? We're gonna donate that.
Yeah,
I'm
So-
sure they will again.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I have the information on that also, Tom, so we both have it, so that's good. And so now, a little expense, we need water for these guys and little snacks. Cause that's what we bought last year, out of our pocket, we've just bought because it's hot and you don't want them dehydrated and you need to have little snacks in case they have health issues or whatever, so that is gonna be an expense. So we're just gonna put that down. Okay, so we're voting, we're gonna do the trails, and Sheila, of course, she's no longer with us, Lauren is. And the next, I spoke to Ben Ford. What a nice guy, very, very nice. He watches us, hi Ben, he watches the meeting, and he is more than willing to help, but he does not wanna be on the committee, he wants to stay in the background. Didn't quite know what that meant, you wanna stay in the background, cause he said, well, I don't have to be way in the background. So I don't know what it meant, we'll have to talk to him a little more and see what he can offer. You know, maybe he'll offer helping with the floats, or maybe he'll offer setting up the chairs, or the tents that we decided we were gonna do the tents. So, but he still wants to be involved at some point. Very nice, he's a veteran himself, so,
Great.
very nice man, that's what when I spoke with him.
Yeah, he volunteered that
Yeah.
day and he was extremely
So
helpful.
we can reach out to him, and I told him I would, you know, send him emails, and we can send him the minutes and things like that, but he's listening, he's gonna watch this,
Great,
so he'll know what we're talking about.
He jumped right
I
in.
haven't met him personally,
very nice man.
but very nice to talk.
Fairly new in town and wants to be involved.
Yeah, yeah, so that's Ben, and I think we should continue to reach out to him. The Memorial Day accounts, okay, so this is how it works. Before COVID, Memorial Day had its own account, which worked out good because we could see our little book and how everything worked out. We have $1,500, and that's our limit there. And I talked to the accountant, and she did set us up a donation account, because we have, what we did at the Christmas fair is we took out some of the t-shirts and hats, and we sold them at a very reasonable price because we have extras. So I have this extra money, I'm gonna give it to the treasurer, it was $69. Give it to the treasurer, to put in our donation account. And I have the numbers, I have on here, it'll tell you what we have to do. Kelly told me that we just have to put in the account number, C. Kelly. donation account,
But there's a form that has to be,
yep, and I got the forms for you. That's what you used when you do your deposit,
okay,
okay, and I have the one where you take the money out, the account number in the general fund. So I think Nate is looking into seeing if we can have our own account back again. I think would be nice, cause that way we can see, my mind, I can't figure out how you can differential the general fund from the Memorial Day fund and, you know, so we have to keep our own records to make sure we
Well,
don't,
what I said is I'd find out why we did it.
why we did, yes.
Like, so, and if there isn't a legitimate reason as to why we did it, then maybe we can undo it.
Yes,
But
that's what I'd like to see happen, I'd like us to see if we can, so he's gonna look into that,
so that number there was here,
yes, yes. And then, if you have a donation, this is what you're gonna put down for your donation, is this, right here. For now, I gotta call her back, okay, in the donation account, you're gonna put Memorial Day donation, and in the account number thing, you're gonna put C. Kelly. You're gonna put C. Kelly.
that's the account number?
Yeah, because she doesn't have the account number
what
yet.
was that?
She doesn't have it
About
yet.
10,
But
maybe
when I get it, I'll
15
give it
years
to you.
ago.
And she's gonna double check
Um,
on this too, I get.
about this
and
time in the year,
She's gonna double check
they took
She said
the
she wasn't quite
$1,500 away from
sure.
us.
Really?
of these numbers, so
Because
I'm
they
gonna
had
double
to
check
pay
on
for
that.
something
That's
else.
Make
the
sure.
process. This is
So
for the
we had Memorial
for
Day was
donation.
Yeah, that's for the
unfunded,
donations. This is for the
so I got
withdrawals.
on the,
Okay, so
I
this
got on the
thing,
radio, I
That's-
got on
this is
the
for the
newspapers,
withdrawals.
just see Kelly,
and,
that's all you put on this?
we had
That's for the donations, yeah,
about almost
We
4
won't
grand
make any withdrawals for a
came
while.
to it.
yeah, no,
Good
and
stuff.
I'll get
I mean,
you,
it was
I'll get you
amazing.
more
But
forms.
she'll
and-
come
So,
up
you know,
with a number.
that's
Yes,
maybe not
I'll
a
get you, yeah,
bad,
Yeah.
you know,
Um,
if
Should we
could-
need it?
if we could, raise money somehow for it.
can we put out something for people to donate? Can we
Well, if you got a
somehow?
donation, you got a donation
We got a
thing.
donation account, so can we somehow advertise if anybody would like to support the Memorial Day parade?
Could that
That
go
would-
in the monthly senior?
And senior news, if we
Yeah.
write something up,
This just goes in here.
Super
So
problem.
And I can
you-
put it on the website, and I have a connection with Steve Wendell at WGAW. He'll run that for free. He's a veteran himself.
Right.
So if we get that out to him and we can put it on the website, it's not like it's going to need tens of thousands of dollars, so.
we'll probably need a good, I would say,
We spent like $2,600 last year,
yeah,
right?
I got all the information.
Claudia, you want me to write something up?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. See what we can get, so we can,
To put in the senior newsletter.
and then if Nate wants to put it on,
And what would be, how would they make the donation?
they would have to make it out to the Town of Hubbardston Memorial Day donation account.
Yeah, cause that's what we did for the Vietnam veterans.
Right,
It'd be-
because it would be town.
Can they drop the donation off in
They're
cash?
very happy to
Okay.
drop it off with me if they want, or they can
Drop it off here,
Drop it
drop it
off
off with her.
anyway, but we gotta make sure we have to fill out this form. So it's gotta go to the Memorial Day Committee, because our treasurer has to fill out the form to put it in. So we can kinda keep track of everything. I like to keep track of my stuff, because then I know I'm not going over it, I'm not going under, I know what I got. So if I don't keep track of it myself in writing, I don't know where I'm at.
So if somebody comes by here for a donation, we'll just put it in some envelope in there and.
They can give it to us. I would say drop it off with the COA or mail it in, put Memorial Day donation or Memorial Day committee. It should come to us, so that we can fill out our forms and make sure that we know what's going in and what's not going in. So we have an idea. Not that the town wouldn't keep a good track of it, it's just, we need to know too, so.
And we had a very good relationship with Steve from WGAW. He published some of our podcasts, number 1, number 2. He literally did a running commentary when we had the whole affair. It was set up on Main Street.
Good.
And as the parade was going by, and then he set up on the Common and videotaped everything. So we got some really good coverage out of that
Good.
in the local area.
And I'm the cable committee
Mhm.
chair, so we'll, you know, we provided all of the,
Yeah.
all that to them. And it worked great.
Yeah, we're great. Mhm.
Okay, and I think we've all met Lauren, our new veterans. Lauren, are you gonna come in once a month to the senior center or not?
Yes.
Did we say we were gonna have like coffee or something like
Yep,
that?
I'll do a coffee hour. I know Sheila was doing it like the third Wednesday of every month.
Yep.
I might change that, I don't know.
Alright, let
Um,
us, cause we'll put it in the newsletter, so when you figure.
I'll do the third Wednesday this month. Going forward, I might change it.
We're
Alright,
working
so
on
I-
February's newsletter.
Okay, cool.
So do you wanna do it the third Wednesday in February?
It's the third
Or
Wednesday.
do you wanna do Tuesday, soup day, the 14th?
Oh, I like soup.
Because we're having a very special soup day. It's gonna have a really decadent dessert.
Well, that sounds great, and
Dessert
I would
soup?
love that.
I like dessert soup.
It's gonna be, it's
Melted
gonna
ice
be
cream.
on Valentine's Day.
Okay, yeah, I'll come in Valentine's Day in February, and then
Okay.
January, it's the 18th, 25th.
February 14th.
And speaking of Lauren, it would be my hope as town administrator that you guys would allow her to say a few words as veterans agent during the Memorial Day ceremony.
Already
Just-
got it on the agenda.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a 5-minute thing, I'll
And
throw
if-
my
I already
dress
told her.
If
blues.
you
Up to
need,
5
if you
minutes.
need someone from myself or the select board, would be willing to as well, on behalf of the town, so.
Yeah, usually we do behalf of
Mhm.
somebody from the town, representative, like you said,
Yeah,
the
Ryan did it.
selectmen.
Spoke last
Ryan
year.
did it last year, yeah.
Actually, back to speakers. Do you know if you guys have any Gold Star families in this town? Anyone who, like a family who lost someone?
We have a lady who lost June Lindstrom, her brothers, but I mean, I don't know.
Okay, because
And
I went to the Shrewsbury Parade last year, cause we do the parade every year down at Veterans Inc. And there was a Gold Star mother who gave a fantastic speech. She spoke about how, her son went through high school, wanted to serve, enlisted, and what happened to him over there, how he died, and, her activism work afterwards. So I don't know if there's a Gold Star family in town, but that was fantastic.
We have a Gold Star family that does a Thanksgiving dinner for us because her son was killed over in the war. So when he did, they found a letter saying that please do something good with the money that they had, so
When
she.
when was that? When did he die?
I
was he
don't
younger?
know, I don't know, the Jones family, that, they were from Westminster though, they're not from town.
15 years ago.
They're not from town, but he,
16.
they
15.
give us
Well,
it
yeah,
every
15.
year.
Every year? Okay.
They,
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
I
the
would
past 2
maybe
years, you
Yeah.
know.
reach out to her and see if someone from that family would say something, because that was really impactful at that parade last
Or we
year.
could, yeah, or we could look, why don't we see if we can find someone from our own town?
Yeah.
And then maybe reach out to another town, how do you feel about that?
I think that's,
He was an adopted son,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they sent him to college at, in Worcester. He joined the ROTC. When he graduated, he got sent to Afghanistan. That's the history in it. He designated that any monies that he had from insurance, et cetera, go to help seniors.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
hi, everybody.
Hi, George.
Joyce, you gonna sing for the Memorial Day parade?
Are you asking me now?
Yeah, just thought I'd just ask, might as well get that out of the way.
Oh, say, can
Not now, not now.
Thank you. We're putting that in the minutes. Joyce will sing.
Alright, so we'll look for a Gold Star mom in this town, or family.
I'm assuming her daughters have sang in the past as
Yes.
well.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
They all-
Figured.
Mucho many times.
Yeah.
Did a great job.
Is it,
Pretty
now
much
would the
whatever
town
we
clerk
want.
know that? If there was a goal, how do you find that out?
They provide the
Audio.
audio
Mhm.
too.
For a total of $75, it's a
Yeah.
bargain.
Find
Yeah.
out.
They get it all set up for $75.
Okay, alright, so we're gonna go on to number 11. Alright, so I think I'm still going to Florida, not real positive on that, but I feel like we're still gonna go for a couple months. Now, we have the hats, but of course, you know, we got the wrong hats. But, and we have some t-shirts left from last year. What would you like me to do? Would you like me to look for something different, and what kind of hats? Cause they have all kinds, you know, and the price is right for
It was
them.
under $2, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's unbelievable, yeah.
they were cheap. Well, I think I got 12 hats for, what, $18?
Yeah.
Is that $2?
$1.50.
No, that's under $2, yeah. That's what I got last year, and then we had Monty Tech make the t-shirts, so when I went up there, right?
How did they go? You were here for the distribution.
They were beautiful.
Yeah, they were beautiful hats and people, positive reaction but
They
you
love
said you
it.
got the wrong hat, so what do you mean by that,
Well,
Claudia?
you know what, I didn't realize that the Vietnam vets, not all of them served in Vietnam, so there's a stripe on there, there's a certain stripe.
The campaign ribbon, yeah.
Yeah, so that was what, and some of them, even if they did serve, they didn't want that stripe. It should have just said Vietnam vet, you know, I didn't know.
Actually, if you were a Korean veteran like myself, it had the Vietnam thing on the Air Force hat, so it didn't, you know, just
How about
gave
a
visual
generic
on it.
one
I didn't,
that says Army veteran,
Yes.
Navy veteran,
Yes.
Air Force veteran, Coast
I-
Guard veteran,
I agree.
Marine veteran?
I think we should get the generic,
That's a good idea.
and
We
I
had
don't
them
know
in the
how much
past
to
also,
get.
you know.
Yeah, I have a fancy one now, but I have, I don't know, 2 or 3 Vietnam, caps that just say Vietnam vet.
Cause I think Sheila got me the extra army hats and stuff last year. So when I go down, I'll just get the generic. So we don't have a lot of Coast Guards, I know I got Coast Guard hats, we don't need them. But we have a lot of Air Force, a lot of Army,
Leftover.
a lot of Navy, no, not leftover, a lot of people.
Okay,
I don't think I have hardly any Air Force left. I don't think I have any Army left. I was trying to think of the ones that we used the most, what I would just get a little of something in. Marines, we have Marines. I'll look and count the hats and see what we got. I think they're in the shed.
and whatever you buy, I'll pay for, I'll donate.
The thing
So
is,
whatever
a lot
you
of us
buy, I'll
already
donate.
have 10 or 15 hats.
But this is for like the veterans that like go on the float. Like when your veterans come out, they love their hat and they love their t-shirt. You know, because a lot of them are homeless, I think, aren't they? Or
They are, if they came from VI, they are homeless.
yes. And so they loved that, and that was a good thing to
Do
do.
we have like 29 that came up from Worcester after all?
There was
Uh,
a lot.
Yeah.
I had a list here,
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but we had like, I don't know,
It was a good representation.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was,
It
it
was
was,
worth-
and you know what, I think we would get more this year because they had such a great time, I'm thinking maybe more would come. Alright, so do you have any idea how many hats, should I get 50?
How many, well,
10,
make
10,
a
10.
determination based on what you have left over,
Alright,
And
I'll check the leftovers,
and just let me know.
okay, I'll check the leftovers,
I
I'll just
expect you
pay
to
for
be-
them.
I expect you to be a hard negotiator like you were last year. I wouldn't wanna be on the dealer end of her. you know.
Well, Bill, you know what they
Once you
give,
got through with it.
you know what they give me for a slip? It isn't much, I mean, it's a
Well,
scratch on the.
toilet paper lasts. quite a bit, yeah.
I know. Alright, I'll count them up and we'll see what they want, and I'll just pay for it and then,
I'll reimburse you.
so, and what about the t-shirts? Do we wanna do a different t-shirt for the younger vets that came? Maybe we could get with Monty Tech again, they did a great job, I don't know.
Those are under $4, weren't they?
I don't remember, do you remember, Sue?
I think they were $4 or $5 each.
T-shirts.
Well, we know that's the ballpark,
Yeah.
yeah,
Our t-shirts for Monty Tech last year were $500.
how many shirts?
I don't have that amount, I just have what we paid, the t-shirts were $500.
So if you had 125 t-shirts, that'd be $4 a piece.
I'm gonna have to really look into that, I should have that information.
That's okay. And how did they go,
And
and
we
how many
did-
do we have left?
I will check on that, we have some, we could give out both. I mean, we could do a new design and give out, and keep cause the old ones were nice. But they did say don't get black, Cause it's hot. I don't know if you don't wanna get black.
Last year was
It was hot last year, wasn't it? Yeah. So, do you want Sue and I to design those shirts and figure
And
out how
share
many
with
we
us the next time around.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Well, how much lead time did you have to give them last time?
we had to, we worked on those
We
for,
worked on it,
we worked on them for quite a while, I think,
well,
before,
no, they put it in,
Because
they were
remember
good at figuring it in, so I think if we make the design, you guys okay it, we give it to them, we'll get them in plenty of time.
I thought it was
so
less
it'll
than
be
2
April,
weeks
so April,
that they did it, yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah, oh yeah, by April.
but I think we contacted them before,
Oh,
to
yeah.
make sure they,
Yeah.
yeah, alright, so we'll contact them
Yeah.
before, make sure they'll be willing to
Did
do
we,
it.
did we have the kids do that? I think we had the kids design it, didn't we? No? You came up
Well,
with the.
they fixed the
The
pocket,
pocket.
they did fix
Yeah.
a few things on it,
Yeah.
yeah, we had them design something. The program or
doing
the,
a lot of
something.
stuff, yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna get the hats,
Oh, they designed.
and we're gonna look into the t-shirts, me and Sue. And then
They
we're
did
gonna
the
bring back the
design.
design here for you guys. Alright, the ice cream social, we'll still do that, I think is a good idea.
That was a big hit, right?
Yeah, we always did that, that was always good. The Lions Club and the hot dogs, who's gonna look into that, to see if they wanna do it again this year?
Tom's gonna do that.
I'll do that. I'll take it to them the next meeting, I'm absolutely positive they'll do it.
Oh, okay, good. The tents, now, I know, I think we have a couple, the Golden Aid, the COA might have a couple in there. The Friends have a nice, a bigger one, where you're gonna be able to set more chairs underneath, the sides come up, so that it would keep them out of the sun, so I could reach out to the Friends for one, or what do you think? And we need probably one for the,
Well, the singers, they definitely need one. And then, I know that, Monty Tech, where there's just so much shade on the common, that's all there is to it. And we were concerned especially with our veterans, so we had them over on the side where there was, shade. We had 125 chairs that we rented from Taylor Rental, and, so they were in the shade. But some of the other groups were not, and of course we'll have the map again, where we'll have them set up.
Lions have a couple of, one, and, one of them is like an old army tent, so I don't think that's gonna be very good, but we have one that's used mainly, that shades when we're feeding out, putting stuff out for people.
Is it a 10 by 10 or is it bigger than that?
Oh, it's probably, it's long, much longer than it is deep. I'll get the I don't know what the depth is, but I'll get that, and I'm pretty sure that we could get that to use it.
Cause we're not gonna be able to supply tents for every one of the groups, that just is not plausible. And our first responders, they were fine. The drill team from Hubbardston, the Revolutionary War guys, they were fine, they were over in the shade. It was more the Monty Tech, cause they were out in the sun up at the rec field waiting to organize, so they were out for a while, then they did the march and.
And despite my going, as I walked by them and they were all lined up, I walked over and said, guys, you don't need to be standing up here with your knees locked. Somebody's gonna pass out, and we lost one before they ever started the walk.
And there's not a great deal of shade up at the rec field.
No.
There's a
Yeah.
couple of trees, but, they certainly didn't have to be in formation.
Yeah, so a little, I put it in my mind that I was gonna, this next year I was gonna make sure when I get up there, I told everybody, I told their leaders, do these kids know how to, what we're gonna do? And you can you can march, but when you stop and you just sit there with your knees locked, they just drop like flies. And nobody actually ever believes that, but it happens.
Would you be smart to have
What do you
maybe a
mean when you
cooler
say
of
knees locked?
water
What does
up
that
there
mean?
for 'em?
What?
We did,
When the
we
knees
did put out
locked,
two
what does that
big
mean?
coolers,
No,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, we had all
like
kinds of
straight,
water
you
out
lock
there.
your knees and
Yeah.
stand there,
Uh,
yeah, you'll pass right out.
In fact, on a couple of the floats, there were coolers, and I put a couple of coolers up there.
Oh.
And they can leave hostile water.
Okay.
Yes, we could have water.
Well, I don't know anybody who's ever died from that, but you don't wanna see a kid going down, especially on the pavement somewhere.
So, I think we'll say yes on the tents, and then when we
Tents.
figure out how many groups we have, we can then determine how many tents we need, and then secure the tents, and then we have to have help putting them up.
Right,
And
and
then,
that you'd have to put up in I mean, I know Skip Scott has a big one, cause we bought it for him. He has a nice one. It's not a 10 by 10, it's a little bit bigger, which is nice. And I know the Friends have a really
yeah,
nice
that one,
tent.
they had that at the summer social, I saw that out.
When
Yeah,
we went
so
to,
they have one, and,
when we went to Washington in November to read at the wall, they had a big tent set up with a heater in it. People got cold, they could go in there and go in and get like one of those portable AC units.
Sure.
And just put it in a tent. People got really hot, you know.
And the Lions would set the one up and take it down.
Yeah, good, okay.
Claudia, I do have an 11 o'clock, but thank you guys for having me and keep me in the loop,
All right,
and
thank you,
I
Nate.
will do my best to come to the next one.
thank you.
Nice meeting you, Nate.
Nice meeting you guys.
Okay, the programs, we're gonna make, I thought the programs were great, we passed them out, they were good.
Did we have enough?
I think we had enough.
Okay.
I don't know, I can tell you how many we made, because I have them here, the programs, invitations. I don't know how many we made.
But one per family, one per group.
Yeah, we
I
just,
just,
How did they get handed out?
we walked around and handed them all out.
Okay, mean when people are on the parade route, you hand them out?
Yeah, we
Okay,
walked it
great.
up. So this year though, I know that we need to get it up to the people up at the rec field, cause a lot of those people didn't have a program, they didn't know, the people marching. So we should give a bunch to like
Sure.
Joe, if Joe's gonna help us
Yep.
out with that, we should give a bunch to him and they can pass them out up there. So,
Have you heard from Joe?
I did, Joe came to see me and, he said he doesn't wanna be on the committee, but he would help if we need him. So maybe we could reach out to, maybe he would help with the lineup, cause I think he did a good job, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe he would, I could reach out to Joe and see if he'll just help with the
He and I were
lineup.
up there telling people where to park and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Dick, overall, that worked out well,
Yeah.
yeah, and that one little thing, getting the programs
I
up there.
think the only thing we made change is where the cars, cause a lot of people didn't know where to go with the cars and going around in circles.
So that's why we put them on the street, and police were really good about allowing us to park on both sides of the
Yeah, I
street.
think both sides was a good idea.
And I'll reach out to the, it's much too early to do that now, but I'll reach out to car clubs again. We had 34 antique cars, and we had motorcycles, and, you know, but the draw was the dedication of the memorial, because a lot of those guys were of that vintage.
With the
Well,
well, if we
t-shirts,
make sure we get the word out of who we're honoring this year.
Yep.
with the t-shirts, I was thinking you could put an American flag, a cross, and then the symbol for each military unit,
Yeah.
so.
Nice
You
idea.
can, you work with the
We'll look-
ladies?
We'll look online and see what
Yeah.
we can, see if something like that, or maybe we
Yeah.
can kinda sketch it
Love
out.
to have your input.
Yeah, that would be good.
One of the young gentlemen who brought all these old restored like World War II vehicles out.
Oh, yeah, do we want those again?
If you do, I'm sure that they'll do it. He asked,
The car place.
the one with John was,
yeah,
Well, Salvador brought the tank,
Yeah,
and, but it was Higgins.
Higgins,
That
yes.
from Barry. Lauren, they had like we had 5 or 6 military vehicles, it was
That's
really,
awesome.
really good.
anyway, he was, one of them was a classmate of our daughter, so when my wife's birthday came up this year, he came over to cook something that he knows how to do well, and he knows is something Andrea likes. And I just made, I said to him again, I can't thank you guys enough, it was
Great.
really great. He says, well, just let us know for next year.
Wonderful,
Great, so you're gonna look into that, Tom?
I'll
You're
do
gonna
that.
do
Yeah.
the Higgins and them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom. Well, that'll be great. I think it would be nice if they could just stay a little longer so people could look at the,
Did one or
Trucks.
two stay?
yeah, not many.
Yeah.
And we allowed all the spots for
And we
them.
had the
Maybe
spots
what you-
for 'em,
what you
so-
do ahead of time is make sure you get the flags. Remember last year you couldn't even get the POW flags, you had, well, 9
Yeah,
floats, you maybe ordered them sooner.
Do we still have the flags?
Yeah, still.
I got that one, that's a Vietnam one, we don't wanna use that one this year, I think somebody has it, I don't know who has it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I can look and see what they got down there in
And they're
Florida
very
for the
reasonable.
POW.
Yeah.
You can order them, you know.
Yeah, sometimes I can get them at a reasonable, kinda reasonable down there.
Going back to the brochure / program, John, are you willing to,
I'll help out, but, you know,
in the same capacity as last year?
well, Sue has all the material, but I think you wanna change the pictures around, you know, the focus was on Vietnam. So we changed that for veterans in general. Give you a hand. But I'll be 90 before
We know
we
that,
have
yeah.
the parade, so I don't know how many days I have.
So should
got
we
lots
come up
done.
today with a theme for the Memorial Day?
And I thought we did that.
Well, but we haven't,
Alright, let's,
because we should have, what is our theme going to be?
Well, if we follow if you look at the agenda, we're jumping.
Is there something
Yeah,
down
it
below that
is.
says that?
It's- yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So we're doing good at following the agenda.
Okay, let's do that then.
So, if
okay,
we
then we
can-
don't get mixed up. So Sue and John are gonna do the programs,
Right,
you're gonna take care of that. And you and I are gonna do the t-shirts.
Yeah,
We're gonna
right.
look at that, okay, so that'll be great. So we still wanna get the poppies and the disabled vets, little forget-me-not flowers and stuff, we passed all that out. We kinda put them around a flag and we passed them all out. You know who helped us with that was Sheila. She knew who to contact for that, but I could get I did the poppies, I think.
And how did Flo, and she did what else, the
Flo,
flowers?
Flo did the wreath,
I had it
but
again.
remember Flo did not do the flowers because Ed Blanchard,
So, yeah, we had money in Vietnam Veterans Memorial
so
Fund. We took care of that.
is Ed Blanchard, do you think, gonna do the flowers again? Is he gonna donate that?
I would say not. So I would say, why don't you reach out with Flo on that? And then if for some reason she can't do it, as the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Committee, we still have money. But we also are gonna be adding names, et cetera, so we don't know if we have any extra.
Okay, so I'll check with Flo on the
Good,
flowers
yeah,
and the
'cause she
wreath.
did it many years in a row,
Anything that we
right?
can buckle down
Yeah,
now
she's
is
got
good.
it done.
She's done it always, she's
Yeah.
always done the wreath,
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
yep.
and stuff, so.
And the reason that Ed did it was they were doing the landscaping around the monuments at the same time. The gal that did that was willing to also do the flowers. It was
Alright, so Flo's gonna do the wreath. Disabled vets, do you want me to reach out to them? I'll reach out to them,
okay.
okay, I'll reach out to them, cause it's nice to have those extra things, unless you can help me with that, Lauren. I don't know, Sheila's able to help me with that a little bit, I don't know if you can or not.
What specifically, the disabled?
They got the poppies and she got the disabled vets, they have like a little forget-me-not, and it says disabled vets on it. And they're like little ones, and then we get together
Where
and
did
we,
she get that?
I don't know, she had
Maybe through the
contacts.
DAV?
She, maybe.
Huh,
Yeah.
I'll look into it, I've never heard of it, but I will look into it.
Alright, or I can
I think there's a lot
also,
of people that supply those
I can do that, I mean,
poppies.
also, maybe we both will,
Yeah.
and see what we come up with, alright.
You probably get them in some, flower store.
No.
No?
No, you have to come from the DAV, and the poppies is from the American Auxiliary Legion, or whatever, yeah. The American Legion Auxiliary, yeah.
This is why you love me.
Okay, so are we gonna rent the chairs this year?
Well, that would, yeah.
Okay, so Bill's gonna take care of that?
Yeah.
I contacted Taylor Rental, I had a nice talk with them and everything, and they were
They were
fine.
good.
Right, they were very.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
and I made sure I reached out,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so now we have the theme, which we said honoring all our veterans of global war.
Yeah. I'm gonna spell global right first.
Okay, sorry, good,
That's
I'm
okay.
glad you said, I spelled it.
AL,
We gotta, we,
not EL, it's AL.
It's
Is
AL?
that
Yeah,
global
AL.
war or global wars?
Oh,
yeah, that's what I mean, we have to work on that.
Well,
Spelling? You have to work on the spelling?
Well, and on the
on the
terminology, how do we
Yeah.
word it?
Well, Lauren, you probably know that because the last 20 years,
Yes.
what is that,
Era called,
what do you call
Post 9/11?
what is it called?
Post
Yeah.
9/11?
Yeah.
Which would be the global war on terror. But also that depends on like where you were deployed, so.
Yeah.
The global war on terror depends on where you were deployed. This era is
Oh.
post 9/11
Okay,
right now, yep.
So does post 9/11 mean whether you were in Japan or Kuwait
Yeah,
or
wherever
wherever?
you were, if it was after 9/11, the last like 20 years, that's this era right now.
And would it be more appropriate to call it, post 9/11, or would it be more appropriate to call it honoring veterans of the global war on
On
terror?
terror.
Is it terrorism or terror?
Terror.
Okay,
I think post 9/11 because that's a little bit more encompassing. Like, I'm a post 9/11 vet, but I didn't serve in the global war on terror because I didn't go in that specific theater. See what I'm saying? So I think post 9/11 would be more encompassing of everyone who served in that era.
so honoring our veterans, if we said of the post 9/11 era, post
Yes.
9,
Era.
okay,
Yeah, post
That's
9/11.
It was
post,
the Vietnam era.
yeah, cause we had the same thing, where we had the Vietnam era, which was from 54 to 75. And then within that, we had those who served in country, and we identified them with a gold star. But we wanted to be all encompassing with our goal
The whole
with
era, whether it was
the
Vietnam or
era.
Korea or whatever.
And as you know, there were many definitions of that, and if you looked 5 places, there were different sets of
Yeah.
dates and so on and so forth, so as a committee, we came up with the 54 to 75, and that's why we had such an inclusive number of people who were just after the Korean War, but we didn't wanna leave anybody out, so, okay. So honoring our veterans of the post 9/11 era. Madam Chairperson, I recommend we make a motion to accept that if that's what we're gonna go with.
okay, and Sue's gonna second it,
Okay.
and all in favor? That's what
Aye.
we're gonna call,
Okay.
okay,
So honoring our veterans of the post 9/11 era. Okay.
perfect, I think that's gonna be good. So that's what we're gonna put on a lot of our information that goes out, like in the newsletter,
Yeah.
and the donations and all
Yeah.
that stuff, we should have that
Yep.
as a big, yes, it's a good idea.
And then within that theme, we're gonna try to bring up how veterans from the different time periods have been affected. And through, re-entering normal life, PTSD, and try that, and possibly have a few speakers who can talk about that, because, that is all part of that era. So I think that, when we have our, for example, our town administrator talk, we can give him some information that feeds into that theme, just like Ryan did that, and then, having the, individual speakers, VSO, talk for a bit, and, all with that theme in mind, and how different people get affected in different ways. I think that makes it, to the point.
So can I ask something, and it is not meant in any way to offend anyone or anything like that. But just because of my own mind, I'm wondering, when we have speakers up there, I know we have Donnie Bertham, who was a veteran, and we have Ann, which is our representatives and stuff, and they, you know, that's kinda like a different, but when we have our own speaker from our own town, should it be a military person that understands more, or just someone like myself that doesn't, you know, I mean, can probably say how we feel, and we've lost people, it means a lot to me, Memorial Day does, but, should we stick with a speaker who has been in the military, or should we not?
Lauren, you probably would agree that it's tough to get somebody to look for help if they have PTSD,
It is.
and they're reluctant to go to the VA. Maybe we should have somebody like a psychologist or psychiatrist from the VA speaking to kind of see if he's just a regular guy who understands their issue.
I had a couple questions about the speaker speakers, since I'm gonna be acquiring some speakers, and that was one of the questions. I'm very connected with a lot of providers, community resources and like VA providers. We could take that angle. I also was thinking along the lines of like clergy.
Yes.
Would you like a clergy member?
We need a chaplain to open, we usually have the chaplain open the
Mhm.
Memorial
Is
Day
it the
parade, so we'd like a chaplain.
Would you like a military chaplain, or
Yes.
would you?
Yes,
Yes.
That might not be possible.
we did last year.
You did?
We had one last year,
Okay, cause there's,
the military chaplain.
because Massachusetts is a predominantly National Guard state, there's not a lot of them. It might be hard to get one. I know a couple and I can see if we can get one. I only have, my dad's a preacher.
Oh.
He'd be happy to come.
I have
Or I'm sure there's churches in
church that-
Hubbardston too.
the church that
No,
we
we
go
don't.
to
Oh, you
down
don't?
in,
I mean, we do, but we don't have any.
Oh, okay. My father's fantastic.
is a graduate of Annapolis. He was a submariner for several years,
Mm-hmm.
and then got out and he's an Episcopal priest now.
Oh, cool. From the town?
Well, he's from he's down at the church that we go to is down in okay, there goes the memory again.
Is it Holden?
Holden.
Holden.
Okay.
Mhm.
I have talked to him about it once or twice,
Cool.
and he never he opts out.
Okay.
However, every time he goes to do his sermon and he's going to refer back to his something in his Navy career, he stops right there and looks over at me and says, "Now this is something that a pilot would never understand." So I told him, "You owe me one." I haven't got that one yet.
You want my funny chaplain story?
Right, so maybe we should.
We're in
look into
Vietnam, and a helicopter landed, and there was a Catholic priest, and he had his assistant with him. And, he's gonna do confession and everybody in a quick mass and everything, and we had just captured a Chinese mortar, and we had it set up on the hill, and, he went over to look at it, and one of the guys gave him a mortar shell just to pretend he was dropping it in. Well, it was either Stars and Stripes or Navy Times took a picture of it, and it wound up on the front page of, and you know who the priest was? It turned out to be later Cardinal O'Connor in New York.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they showed him
Drop
dropping
it
mortar
around.
and the mortar.
Yeah.
And it made the front page?
Yeah, and I've gone online trying to find it, I can't find it.
I'll be darned. But to answer your question, in relationship with Lauren's offering here, if we had a professional who has interacted with a lot of different cases and could really speak to the issues at hand, I think it would be advantageous if that person were military, but not necessarily a prerequisite. That if someone had the experience and vicariously had worked closely with many veterans in many different circumstances, that they would be qualified to speak about it in such a fashion, perhaps from an objective standpoint, but should that person also be military, that would be a plus.
A lot of our service providers, people who work with veterans, especially in like the mental health field, they're civilians. But they work with that population. So if we're gonna go that avenue, that would more than likely be a civilian. I mean, some of them have served, but a lot of them have not.
I've heard, I just can't, have no idea. Several months ago, I was just going through and I ran across this, a veteran. He would be one of these guys, and what he was doing was his whole thing was, we went from a war that took 55,000 lives to one that sent the preponderance of those people back with their bodies all torn up but alive. And I sat there and I to myself and I just thought, oh my God, I never really stopped to realize that the way we did war changed.
Absolutely did.
Oh, incredibly. And there was 2 or 3 guys that I forwarded that to, and we had a big conversation on the internet, and we couldn't decide, not one of us could decide whether we would choose to die or come home with these kids, because it's sickening to me, and how this has happened. It's really,
Quite rancid.
I wish I could think. I have one friend that's lives out in Montana that was in. I'll see if he can remember who that person was. And I don't know whether they would come talk to us.
So Lauren, are we putting too much
I'll get that.
responsibility on you? Okay,
I live for responsibility being thrown on me.
okay.
I can
well,
see it.
Thank you.
So I can look for someone active
Yeah, thank you.
military for the clergy. Is there any retired military from the town that was clergy? Cause we could go with someone retired,
I don't,
who was a
The
retired.
gal, the gal that last year, she was really good. She was a major.
yes,
And it was,
She was
Do we have-
Sheila.
Gardner, was it?
Sheila got him first,
Sheila done,
Sheila's friend.
and I mean, we could, I don't remember her name right now, but, that's a possibility. I think we should
Could
pursue
reach
it.
out,
Yeah,
but I think she did it because Sheila asked,
Well,
that's why.
wouldn't surprise me.
I think that's
Yeah,
why.
if we can't get someone active or retired military chaplain, I got a ton of backups
That's fine.
that are
Yeah.
civilian or
Alright, so
clergy.
we're gonna,
Sheila made the donation of the pens for the, and the
do you have a
housing
copy of the, do you have a copy of the program?
Yeah, it was in
It
that,
will
yeah.
be right in the copy of the program.
I also have a question on the theme. Should we go in the, like, is it gonna go in the direction of more like PTSD in terms of suicide prevention? Like staying more in line with the Memorial Day theme? Since Memorial Day is more about like the people we've lost as opposed to the people who are still alive. Just a thought.
Well,
So what are you thinking then? Are you thinking that maybe we should concentrate?
Here's what I'm thinking.
Go ahead, please.
Not to offend anyone
No.
or anybody's ideas or anything, but there's a lot of people that I know, a lot of veterans, who get real hung up on which military holiday is which. Like Memorial Day is specifically to honor the people we've lost, where when we honor people who are still alive or currently serving or retired, that's more of like a Veterans Day Armed Forces kind of thing. And some people get really offended when we take Memorial Day and honor people who are still alive, or current veteran issues as opposed to honoring people that we've lost. Is just something I've noticed working in the field for so long.
I
Good point.
agree with you.
Me
I
too.
think it's a
So,
great point,
What
actually.
do you think that we are going in the wrong direction?
'Cause I came out and
Is that
said
what
the
you
same
think?
thing to
When we-
Will, what,
when
2
we
days
say
ago?
that?
Yeah.
I think if we were gonna take it in that I think this would be more, this theme would be better suited at a Veterans Day parade. And I think Memorial Day should be more along the lines of those we've lost and honoring that. That's why I brought up like the Gold Star family for a
Yeah.
speaker.
Yeah, I like that idea, yeah.
I
That's
agree.
just my 2 cents.
I agree with you.
So
But
we
if
should
you
probably
were
change
to
our theme.
incorporate the PTSD theme with the prevention of suicide, therefore these people become casualties, would that be more inclined to,
That was why I was thinking
Yeah.
the suicide prevention
Yeah.
direction.
because we don't want any more casualties?
Yeah, because of course those are, the suicides are included in
Yeah.
those that we've lost,
Mhm,
so,
mhm.
I think we could keep the theme if we went in more of a suicide prevention direction.
I think that's
So
fine.
you think keeping the theme would be good? Should keep that theme, and then go with the suicide and the Gold Star moms?
Yeah, I think we could sprinkle a little bit of the PTSD and suicide prevention theme in, but definitely keep the focus on, those that we've lost.
Well, it's in terms of the fact that, those that are suffering from that,
Yeah,
they're part of the loss. They're just walking right now. But they're dying because of
Yeah, it's certainly a potential loss,
potential loss.
and they're at risk.
Yes.
And if we can communicate that through the theme, and therefore if just a few extra people reach out, get help, then I
It's
think
worth
we'll
it.
have accomplished our mission
Yeah.
in terms of communicating what we want to, to specify that this is Memorial Day.
Yes,
and
it's
as
supposed
opposed
to be a solemn day.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not supposed to, like you said, we're not having the fire trucks blow their horns and do any of that. We're not passing out candy, we're not throwing candy, we're not doing any of that. Everything, it's a solemn day that we're gonna remember our fallen veterans.
And if we communicate that to our speakers, and that each of them can put a little something in there to reinforce that idea, then even better. And when we come up with the speakers, in terms of any legislators, I'll be happy to talk with them and say, be sure that you acknowledge and mention specifically the meaning of Memorial Day.
Yeah,
So-
and that we always, we kinda do that. Ann Goby did a beautiful speech last year, she really did.
Yeah, hers was spontaneous.
With that in mind, we said our theme was gonna be honoring our veterans of the post 9/11 era. Should it say honoring our fallen veterans?
Yes, ma'am. I think.
Yeah.
See, we need to have your input because sometimes even if we don't know exactly, and we certainly never wanna offend anybody. No, we don't wanna offend any veteran or anything like that. So I'm happy that you tell us, it's a good thing, we do.
Therefore, I make a motion, we amend the term, the theme for our Memorial Day, and now call it honoring our fallen veterans of the post 9/11 era.
Just 9/11,
9/11.
not forever?
No, we wanna say era, yeah,
Ella,
okay. I made a motion.
anybody second a motion? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Right?
Okay.
Any opposed?
So you thought you think if we just say post 9/11 area that we're not doing all of vets, is that what you're
It's
thinking?
Memorial Day for all veterans who've lost,
Right.
you know?
But we'll,
I mean, you never forget them, I still see their faces,
yeah,
as kids. And then you got the 44 from the Civil War, nobody probably even knows about that, the kids, you know?
Well, I brought it up,
Yeah.
I said, please take the time to walk around the common, to look at all the memorials.
Yeah.
yes.
And what we've done to refurbish them, and stop, look, read, and you'll recognize the names. And I mentioned statistics from the Civil War and all the others at the time, and hopefully that sunk in to make sure.
I think what we, and I could be, I think my thought was, if we do it with this era, that we're gonna bring out the young people, because sometimes them and their families and our young people need to know, because we're losing the whole point of Memorial Day, and the younger kids coming up, like my grandchildren and my, you know, I think we're gonna bring more of them involved in that day. We're hoping to have them come and be involved more.
Then what about phrasing it like a special recognition for the fallen veterans of the post 9/11 era? So it encompasses everyone, but we put a special recognition on the younger people. What do you think about that?
I think that could be part of one of the talks, you know,
Yeah.
as opposed
Yeah.
to adding that to the theme, but we make that as, be sure that someone's mentioning that our appeal, and we're reaching out to all of those,
Well, there's
middle
nothing-
age and young.
There's nothing different about what we're talking about here than what we did last year. I mean, it focused on the Vietnam vets, but it was clear that it was
All vets.
a Memorial Day parade, and we made sure that those that we pointed out every one of those things that are sitting out there, and where,
And we will again.
yeah. And
Did anyone ever give any feedback on last year's parade?
They
Good,
thought it
good,
was
or bad?
awesome.
They thought it was great?
It was the best. I got a lot of great
Yeah.
feedback on
Awesome.
last
We
year's.
have, if you ever have a chance,
We
you
have-
look online, the videos,
Yeah.
really well. Had, we got a drone up, and
Oh, cool.
he did a really good job, and we had to find somebody who was not only licensed, but I went along the parade route and talked to some of the people and made them aware that there'd be a drone, cause you gotta be very careful about that. And, I didn't get any negative feedback,
I did not
at
either.
all.
I did not.
you know,
I got none.
Awesome.
so, that's why we have big shoes to fill.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So we have,
there was one. When they came down, when all the vets come, the Vietnam vets down to pull the thing off. I got reprimanded by a lot of people because we're not done yet, and they're waiting for you to get back up to the
Oh, yeah, up to the podium?
podium.
Yeah.
I did,
Yeah.
and then of course there were so many people, it was hard to get up there.
do we wanna have the Laurie with the radio station again, or no? We don't need that, okay.
I think that based on that particular, where we were unveiling the memorial, that was something, and if we have, you know, we could have the coverage to get some donations in and, you know, announcements about there being the parade and all that, that'd be good from WJW and Steve.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so the Mott van in the parade, I don't know why I put that, oh, we need the Mott van to bring people back and forth.
that worked great, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to organize it just quite a little bit better, so we have pickup spots.
Yeah, yeah.
Pick up here instead of, you know, the poor van driver didn't know where to go. So if we say pick up here at the senior center, drop off, so just from senior center there, back and forth, that's it. So, okay, and we're gonna have parking up there like we did before, maybe, or no? Okay, I don't know why I put that mobile van for the vets center.
Did you have that last year?
I don't know what that was.
Well, that was sending the one down to Worcester to pick up the vets, I think, is that what
We,
you did?
we had the
No.
bus, we got the
Yeah.
bus. What is a
Yeah.
mobile van? I
The
can't remember.
vet center mobile van is, are you guys familiar with the vet center through the VA?
My husband's a VA, he goes to the VA, for doctors and stuff, you mean, or?
So the vet center is like a satellite kind of the VA. They do a lot of mental health focused stuff. They have therapy groups. You can see clinicians there. It's part of VA Health, but it's a little bit more geared toward mental health. And they have this mobile van that they take out into the community to events like our stand down or a parade or some kind of a community event. And it's like a mobile, like mental health kind of thing with providers. It's really cool.
Is that something we would include on a Memorial Day parade, or would we not? Would that be for something different? Maybe for Veterans Day, or?
Yeah, maybe for Veterans
It
Day,
wouldn't be
or if
something
you guys
that
like
we-
do a 4th of July kind of thing,
Yeah.
that would be cool to have like on the common or something.
Yeah, we don't usually do that, but,
Cause that's what the mobile van is for the
right,
vet
so we
center.
really wouldn't wanna have that in our
Not in the parade, no.
Or even there, cause it's really not, okay. Alright, let's just cross that out.
Commissioner Gosher.
Okay, alright, John,
Family
thank you,
business.
yeah.
Okay.
So the last thing is a call away Western Mass suicide prevention. I have that there. I don't remember what we talked about with that. Does anyone, do we wanna reach out to these people because we were talking about suicide prevention, or is that something? Do we wanna reach out to them for a speaker? Was that what we were thinking?
I don't remember talking about that last time.
Well,
Was that
we
a
did.
Sheila thing?
We did, because I wrote.
Might have been something sure about it.
We might have just brought up and
Would be a good resource, yeah. I'm familiar with One Call Away, they are a good resource, but also they're in Western Mass. And if they're in Western Mass on Memorial Day, they're probably committed to something else.
Okay. Alright, so we wanna disregard that one?
I'd say so.
It's easier to find local resources. I have a couple random questions.
Yep,
What time is this parade at?
11:00.
Okay, what time do we have to be here?
Probably 10.
Okay.
We asked people to organize
Yeah.
up at the rec field, starting at 10 a.m. If you were marching in the parade, then that would be the time you'd be there.
That was
If
my
your
next
capacity that day was related to being on the common, the ceremony starts at noon.
Okay. Are the people from the town, the speakers that I would acquire, whoever, are we walking? Are we driving in the parade?
It would be nice I think it would be nice if you walked. But, we could maybe get a special car if you'd rather have a special car.
I have a brand new Cadillac with Air Force plates, it's pretty. So I can drive in the parade.
If you could put people in with you, some of
And
our
I could,
speakers.
and I can put some of the speakers in with me. I can walk.
The old cars are real nice, the convertibles.
Mhm.
Alright, so we have to determine that.
What about horses?
We'll have
We only
horses.
had one car,
Yeah, we had
We'll
one
have
car.
horses.
one car
Yeah.
in the parade, that was a lead one, and
Yeah.
then, and then
That was
at the
mine.
end of it,
Mhm.
the people with their old cars.
Yep.
that
Mhm.
can't-
I mean, certainly I can loan my car again, no doubt about it. We would have,
Tell Lauren what kind of car you have, Bill.
it's a 1949 Packard, but it's a car that was in the movie Back to the Future.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Doc Brown's car from all three movies, so,
Like the exact same one.
yes.
That's so sick.
Oh, you
So
don't know
He
this
might
guy.
like to do that, yeah. That would be nice.
He's got all of the things from the Back to the Future.
Okay.
And then Master of Ceremonies. Tom, will you volunteer to do it again?
Oh, God. I will, but no sash.
No sash, you don't want a sash?
I don't want a sash.
You don't want a sash? Yeah. What'd you do with the one from last year?
It's hanging up it's hanging up on a door in the bedroom.
And did it affect your demeanor in any way? But
No,
it wasn't,
no.
that sash wasn't because you were the Master of Ceremonies, that's because you were the, what was the term we gave you besides that? We were honoring one person.
No, it's beyond me. It's not on the sash.
No, okay, yeah, okay. No sash. Yeah,
No sash.
yeah. You won't wear the one from last year?
And should we reach
No.
out to the, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Should we reach out to our selectmen and see if we are gonna have them be in our parade?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
That's not a question.
Selectmen
yeah.
and our town administrator, right?
I have a sidebar
It's
question.
not on.
Is there, you guys have a cemetery, right?
Yeah.
Do
Right.
we do like wreaths or flags at the cemetery? Does the parade go through the cemetery?
The parade does not go through the cemetery, but the Boy Scouts, right? The flags
Mhm.
are all on the,
Okay.
on the graves.
Our cemetery is all over the town.
Oh, it is.
We have a lot
We
of
have
them.
multiples now.
We have multiple cemeteries.
But the scouts do a really good job. We give them
Thanks.
flags and they will be part of the ceremony also.
Awesome.
They participate in
So we'll reach out to Katie
raising the
Young.
flag.
We get a lot of this done before I go. Okay, so there's just one more thing. I had said that I was gonna resign from the chairperson, right?
Said you
Sue
wanted
said
to.
she would want it. I don't know.
Well, this is what I have to say. I'd be more than happy to work with you guys, but I don't know what I'm doing, and we want it to be successful, and we have to be a team, because we want it to be successful.
Yep.
We are.
Well, reading
Yeah.
over the responsibilities, is there anything you don't feel you can handle?
No,
Okay, then, are you volunteering?
I guess I am.
Okay.
So who's gonna be
See,
secretary?
I was right.
What?
Do you have an outside
I
bet
could-
on that, or what?
Well, no, she just made a comment to me that she didn't understand how
Oh.
she got this job. And I said, and so
Join
this
the-
morning when I came in, I said, hey, I got the answer. He looked at you and saw what you did and thought, there's the right person. And she said, no, that's not what he said. Well, I'll bet you that's what it is. She is the right person, but she can't be a person. She's gotta be a team leader
Yeah.
and
The other thought I had was, would, we should reach out to the younger veterans in town and get them involved.
Yeah.
Which will require having meetings at night, because more than likely they work. And I don't like being out at night, but he'll be with me, so it'll be okay.
Mhm.
By the way, this is my husband, Richard Breggy.
Okay.
Came in a little late. So, what do you think of that?
Fine. We do meetings at night,
Yeah,
yeah, happy to do it,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm talking more about finding somebody getting some younger people involved
I mean, on the committee.
on the committee, because and I said this to you earlier, it appears that once you get on a committee, it's for life. You know, it just, my experience, which is very minimal. So I was just thinking, if we could find a way to get some young people on, that might be.
Yeah, my term is up the 30th of June, and I'm not going to re-up again, because I have 2 companies I'm running and many, many activities this year, charity related, so
Yeah,
I'm not gonna,
you're not gonna be on
I'm
this
not going to, but I'm happy to work hard this year for you.
Okay,
I have a list of all the veterans in town.
yeah,
I could send out an email blast to people like 40 and under. If you wanted me to.
yeah.
Telling them about the Memorial Day Parade Committee, asking them if they wanna be a part of it, trying to get younger members, whatever.
45 and
45 and under? Yeah, I have the whole list of all the veterans in the town. I could send out,
That'd be great.
like a newsletter, email
Mhm.
blast, for
Yeah.
recruitment, I can do that.
That's wonderful.
Good idea.
Great.
I'm thinking 65 and under.
65.
Under.
Lauren, any idea how many
Yeah.
people that would be?
I have no idea,
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
cause I have the list, but it's printed out and it's on my desk at work.
yeah. Why don't we
Try
say
it.
65 and under?
Yeah,
Why not?
yeah.
Yeah, cause
Is
with,
that what we're?
I mean, we
going
want
for?
to have a young group,
What?
but
So
we're
just have all
thinking,
the calling in.
yeah, so, no,
Although
that's,
a lot of the
I'm
people
gonna
in
be
the town.
67 in a week or so.
A lot of the people in the town, a lot of the veterans in this town are seventies, eighties.
yeah,
So,
so I
There
think
might
if
not
we,
be a lot of people under
Yeah.
sixty.
so is it okay 65 and under?
I, yeah,
And then we,
I
I'd
mean,
love
if
to
you
have
had
I'd love to be overwhelmed,
yeah,
but I don't think we will be.
I don't,
yeah.
And if you put that the obligation would be to attend, if we said 6 meetings a year?
How many
that-
meetings do you guys or how frequently do you guys meet?
That's one of my point,
I like to meet often, like every other month or so, but when it comes to like now, I would meet, but I'm not gonna be here, so I would say,
so if we
At
said the
least 6.
responsibility would be, to attend no more than 6 meetings per year, usually held at night. So cause we wanna qualify people, that can make it, and that, once again, might include some of the younger ones who have a job and, but wanna participate, so.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. So you have January, February, March, April, May, and that's when the meeting is. You have one in June, so that you go over what did we do right, what did we do wrong, how can we make next year's better? And what we did this year is we met in
October,
August.
October,
We waited till October?
I think so.
Are these dates already set?
No,
No,
Okay,
we're
good.
just- we're separating.
We're just counting. So we met in October and then we met in,
January,
we didn't, oh, okay.
yeah, this year.
Okay,
Huh.
so that's 7 meetings.
Well,
Unless we get rid of the February meeting, but we probably should meet in February.
Yeah.
Did we get the band? How was it, put a lot of things to bed, the T-shirt, the design on the T-shirt and stuff like that. So you're talking seven meetings
most,
so,
at most.
no more than 7.
yeah,
Yeah.
no more than 7 would be a
Yeah.
good way to word it, yeah, great.
Okay.
So, are we gonna, call for a meeting in February?
I think we should.
Okay,
Do we wanna do it
I'll be giving you feedback on the
Well-
potential of a band
yeah,
by the end of the week, cause that's what you asked for.
that is something
Yeah.
we should really work on, before we even have the meeting, we should try to
Yeah.
get one.
I will
Yeah.
give you feedback, I'll put together the narrative for the, donation for the February newsletter.
Mhm.
I'll do that by the end of the week.
okay. So February, what do we wanna do in February? I mean, are you guys going to Florida? For months at a time?
I'm going to Iwo Jima in March, so I'll be gone from the 17th of March to the, 1st of April.
You gonna raise the flag?
My own personal way, yes, yeah.
So you definitely wanna have one in April, and you definitely wanna have one in May, the beginning of May and probably the beginning of April.
Yeah.
So if you, and Bill will be gone in March, so if we get a lot done in February, if we can get a lot done in February, at least get on the right path.
Mhm.
So are we thinking February 15th?
Is that a
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday?
And Lauren, how are you at night meetings or no?
I can do night meetings.
Okay. Should we do February 15th at night? Well, like to see what kind of response we get when Lauren sends out that.
Mhm.
Let me see what time
Yeah.
this is at, cause I have the VSO Association training all day in Leominster, which isn't that far from here.
Mhm.
I could probably bounce from there right here. I just don't know what time that ends.
Usually evening meetings were 6:30.
Yeah, 6 to 6:30.
You think that would work out?
Yeah, I could do
Okay.
6 to 6:30.
So I wanna say February 15th at 6:30.
If that went beyond 5 p.m., I would probably
Okay.
lose it,
Yeah.
cause it starts early.
So if we say 6:30? On February 15th,
Okay,
okay. And so in our email, should we be inviting them to the February 15th meeting?
I'd say once we get feedback,
Okay.
then you could follow up with another one saying, we decided on a meeting on the 15th, would you like to come?
Okay.
Do you guys have email addresses? Do you wanna be copied on that email?
Sure, ST
Okay. Okay, ST.
Breggy, BREAGY @hotmail.com.
Okay, I'll copy you on that when I send it, I'll send it out today.
Do you have any further business?
What's up?
And adjourn the meeting make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 1:45, 12:45.
Well, personally, my expectations for this meeting have been more than surpassed. Cause I had a feeling we were in a deep hole, and I think that we made a lot of progress today. Most of which, thanks to Lauren being able to
Help
pick up
us.
from where we were.
Yeah.
And, so I'm really pleased how much we got done today, really. I mean that.
Do you have to run somewhere?
I do, I gotta go back to work.